waiting in line to wake up.
What up? What up? What up? V&O, what you know? We back, man. Again, another week, another great show. Last week, if y'all missed last week, man, you missed one. You missed a great one. Mia, you did your thing. Y'all pray for Mia right now. I haven't touched base with her, but I've been following her, and I believe that she's in the hospital right now, man. Mother-in-law, what's up? I believe she's in the hospital right now, and y'all just say a prayer for her. I think she's doing okay. I think I saw an update where she's doing okay. But man, Mia, you did your thing last week. It's a lot of people that I know that were touched. A lot of people that needed to hear your story. Armand, Facebook user, what's up, my guy? Y'all. We got another great one for you, man. We got another great one for you. But first, man, I've always got to thank everybody first, man. Thank you for sharing. Thank you, everybody that thought to subscribe. Thank you, everybody that thought to like it. Like it's we getting up there, man. I'm getting up there. I really appreciate it. Y'all don't understand, man. Like this social media thing, it thrives off of that. It thrives off of the likes and the shares and the subscribes. And like I said last week, man, like the V&O, it's about helping people. You got ordinary people with extraordinary stories. And through that, man, somebody down your friends list. If you don't need to hear that story, somebody needed to hear Mia's story last week. Somebody needed to hear about the things that happened with her body, the things that was going on in her mind and her mental struggles that she had gone through. And then you see somebody make it out of all of that. She got her own business. It's about to be thriving. It's about to be busting, man. Y'all look out for her. Her sewing business is getting there. It's getting there. It's up there. But somebody had to hear that story, man. That's why you have to please share. Please share. Please subscribe. Please like. And everybody that thank you, baby, for she said she's gonna be praying. Yeah, y'all continue to just keep her in your prayers. Y'all, V&O is doing it, man. I know it's kind of self-serving, but you know we doing our thing, and we coming back this week with my girl. With my girl, y'all hear me all the time talk about Dope Living TV Network, because they that group of people, they have really supported me, man. Y'all check them out on Greg Gray's channel. When I can remember, I usually share the link on my Facebook page. They have a YouTube page under Greg Gray. Y'all check them out, man. They have been very supportive of me. And tonight, I got Miss Gina Gadson from the Dope Living TV Network. Yes, my homegirl. Gina, from the day that they first invited me on Dope Living TV, man, I clicked with Gina. We had this thing, and as I found out more about each and every single one of them, from Greg to Chris to Gina to Marcy to Mo to Kevin, man, I realized, man, this reason this is called Dope Living TV is because these are some dope people, man. Like, they all got these amazing stories. That's right, Mouse. Lady Power. We got the ladies back this week. But they all got these amazing stories, man. And Gina, when I knew she had an amazing story, but I always try to sit down with my I don't want to call them guests, with my co-host, whatever you want to call it. I try to sit down with him and talk to him. And man, I was floored, man. We started talking about some of the things that got her to the point where she's at right now. Whew. Y'all got to hear this, man. If you want to be inspired right now, man, y'all tune in. Share this right now. Share it off my page. Share it right now so we can hear this amazing story. And I'm back in my own studio. I'm back at home. We're not live this week. I'm happy to be back. My banner was a little crinkled up, but you know, this is the V&O. We keep it real. We do it. We do it. We're gonna do it anyway, and we're gonna do it big. Without further ado, my homegirl, Miss Gina Gadson.
What's up, Ron?
How's it going, Miss Gina?
Oh, I'm blessed.
I'm blessed too, and I'm happy that that I was happy to talk to you and get your story out there. Man, every time like I started talking to people, I'm like, I think I made the right decision. I'm pretty sure I made the right decision. This week I made the right decision. I made the right decision. I'm so happy.
I know this is gonna be fun, Ron. I know
it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Y'all, and I have to thank you live. I thanked you yesterday, but I got to thank you live. Y'all, I talked about my family off of the Dope Living TV network. From the moment that they invited me on, they took me in, and I have not had to go through some growing pains because they helped me out. They helped me out on the platform that we're on, and they helped me out just getting this thing rolling. You know, and they just gave me gems to get me rolling. I listened to them, and I thank you, Gina. You know, they gave me positive feedback. They let me know, like, hey man, that wasn't the best. That wasn't your best. You know what I mean? I appreciate that from y'all.
Well, we saw it in you, Ron. We saw it when you came to the show.
Yeah, thank you. But we ain't here to talk about me. we are here to talk to author, creator of the DAG Awards, director of the DAG Awards, Miss Gina Gadson. Gina, what's up? I mean, like, how did you? We as we sat down and talked before.
Mm-hmm.
You're a writer. You're a writer.
That's
Can you tell a little? Can you start? Can you just tell us a little bit about your journey there as just a writer?
Well, you know what, Ron. You can ask that question to a lot of authors, and they're probably going to tell you the same thing. I never thought about writing. I never thought about being an author. I guess it was there, and there, as I look back to my younger years, even my school age years, even, I guess it was in me. And those are the things that formulated and led me to being an author. I remember when I was in elementary school, I used to run home every single day from school, drop off my books, and then run to the library. There was a set of books that I used to love to read. And many people don't remember these books, but these were my favorite books. They were called Harry the Dirty Dog.
I don't remember.
It was about 15 books in that that I used to run and read, and they were just, I mean, they were amazing. Right. And so, that right there led me to like to read, to like books. But the one thing that when I look back and what really I believe put me in the position to write was when I was in the 7th grade. One day my 7th grade teacher came to the class and she said, "Hey guys, there's this contest, this writing contest. If you submit a poem, you can win $1,000. Now that inspired me not to write, but because I wanted that $1,000.
Right.
I had that $1,000 spent. I was like,
you was 7th grade.
Years old, 13, 14.
Right.
I mean, some shoes. I'm gonna buy this. I'm gonna buy $1,000 was gonna go a long way for me.
You a millionaire.
1,000 there at least.
Right, 1,000. Well, at 14, that's a millionaire.
So it wasn't that I wanted to write that inspired me to write. It was the $1,000. So I went home and every day I wrote this poem, and this poem was about, I don't know, probably 10 or 15 pages long on college ruled paper. And that's
time out. And this got me when, you in 7th grade.
7th grade.
And you wrote a 15-page notebook paper. Not that big elementary school paper that you learned to write on.
No, that was a college ruled paper, 15 pages.
15 pages.
And so I wrote this poem and I just was, writing away. And all in my head, I'm gonna get this $1,000. I'm gonna get this $1,000. And so that's the year we were hit with that huge storm. If you remember the storm of 1976, you could not leave out the house. You could not get out of your front door. Everything shut down, including the schools.
Yeah.
So the contest had a deadline. So I was ready when we went back to school. When school finally opened up, I had my poem completed.
Right.
I got to school, I was ready to submit it, and the teacher informed us that we had missed the deadline and we could not submit our poems. Man, it hurt me so bad. Like, what? I was about to come up.
Yo, look,
you
right?
just bust my bubble.
Look, you probably was ready to turn over desks and everything.
Yeah, but you know what, Ryan? I kept that poem, and I kept that poem even to my adulthood because I impressed myself. Like,
right.
I didn't know that I could write like that. I don't care who saw it or who didn't see it, but the fact that I did this. When I finally got past the $1,000 one going in my pocket,
right.
I was like, man, I did this thing right here.
Yo, I would have ripped that mug. Like, I'm done.
No,
I'm never writing again. I can't believe Gary public school system. Yo, bogus.
So I kept that poem.
That's right, Mo.
I put it in a binder, and every time I moved from place to place as an adult, I made sure I packed my poem because it reminded me, I don't know, of what I could do that I didn't know that I could do.
Right.
I lost it though. Through transition, I lost it.
Yeah.
But when I became an author and I started writing poems, a lot of people don't know I do write poems and I have poems.
Mm.
I tried to recollect that poem. I did a good job of it, but it's not 15 pages.
Right.
But it is pieces of what I remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're talking about your journey. So you, at that point in time, you didn't know that you could write? Like you weren't sure about did you know that you had that in you? Not 15 pages, but I mean, period. Did you know that you had that in you? But it started at 7th grade, or you had written before?
No, absolutely not. I had never written before.
So
I was motivated by that $1,000. It wasn't about writing. It was about that $1,000. I'm gonna be honest. It was about that $1,000.
Right. So you had never put pen to paper till somebody said $1,000. And you was like, I can do this.
I love reading.
Right.
Edgar Allan Poe was my favorite author back then. I read all of his books, The Raven, everything he wrote. I read.
Okay.
But I love reading, but I never thought about writing myself until that concept.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Now let's go ahead and fast forward because you started writing in 7th grade. You probably wrote a little bit between there, but really, you didn't. So you were 14. I'm putting it together. You were 14. Let's talk about 15.
I never wrote after that. Wrote after that.
Okay. But you had some things that happened in your life, I guess I should say. I guess not too far after that. I didn't realize this was back in the 70s. I guess this happened back in the 70s like this.
Yes.
Yeah, but so
let me retract that because I'm wrong about that now that I think about it. And this didn't hit me until right now. I did start writing a short, what I thought was going to be a short story or a movie. Okay. I was in high school.
Okay.
And I'm going to be very transparent.
Uh-huh.
My mom and I, when I was in high school, did not have a great relationship because she always considered me the bullheaded child. It was only 3 of us, but she always considered me the one that she couldn't tell me what to do.
Right.
I was very strong-minded then, just like I am now. And so she always considered that I was a very, she just couldn't tell me what to do. Right. And so, it was very volatile in my eyes. When we're young, we feel like our parents just do the worst things to us. And, I think we all went through those phases.
Yeah.
But when I was in high school, I started writing this movie and it was called The Witch.
Okay.
it was a story about all the things that I went through with my mother. And she doesn't even know the story. She don't even know that I wrote this. And so I was just, I think it was more therapy.
Wait, hold on. The name, like you made a story and it was about your mom and it was called a witch.
It was
You sure
called
it was
The
called
Witch.
The Witch?
It was called The Witch.
Okay.
It was called The Witch. That was the name of it. And I was writing and writing and writing. And guess what, Ron?
What?
A movie came out just like my story.
Are you serious?
It was called Mother's Dearest.
Whoa!
And I just took everything I wrote and I just threw it in the garbage.
Are you serious? I mean, you could have put your own swing on it. You know what I mean?
I was like, somebody came out with my
you know, it's crazy because you hear a lot of authors, people that write, they have these traumatic events in their lives that spur them to write, to create. You know what I mean? Happy lives don't usually create good stories. It's sad, but it doesn't. Usually it's some type of traumatic event or some type of trauma in your life. At least that's what, you look at, I mean, the worst of like somebody like Edgar Allan Poe, you hear about his life, you know what I mean? These people like that, great writers, man, they be having some tough lives. I would say creators. Let's forget about just writers. Let's talk about creators. Creators have these tough lives, whether you're creating music or any type of form of art. It's like you went through something and it spurred you to create. And so, that might have been it wouldn't be a author Gina Gadson today without right, Mo? That's it, Gina. You see that? Mo just gave you the idea. But it wouldn't be a author Gina Gadson today. It wouldn't be a Directors Author Guild without those traumatic events. Speaking of which, shortly after 14, where did you go with your life after I guess 14? I think you were 16.
16.
Relationship wise?
I actually, at the age of 16, I met my first husband.
Yeah.
And 17 years we were together. 10 years we were together, 7 years married. And it was that was my high school sweetheart.
Yeah.
And at 15, 16 years old, I was in the 9th grade, 10th grade, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
You in your head, this is gonna last forever. You
in love, yeah.
Right. But as time went on, things changed.
Mm-hmm.
I would say 15 years into the marriage, and without getting into his details, the marriage fell apart.
Yeah.
And it was devastating, even the last 2 years that we were together, because things were falling apart. I almost lost my house. We almost lost the house. It was just so traumatic that I went into a depression.
Yeah.
I went into a depression. And this was in, my early 20s.
Right.
And the crazy thing is, I did not know that I was depressed. It wasn't until maybe 10, 15 years ago, I realized that I was going through a time when I was going through a depression, but I didn't even know I was going through a depression.
Yeah.
Things were so traumatic. I wouldn't even get out of bed to go to work. I don't even know how I kept my job. I stayed on my job for 8 years. And that part of my life is a blank in my mind. Really, there's a lot of things about those years, those last 2 to 4 years, that I couldn't even tell you. Because, I guess the mechanism of my brain just shut all of that out.
Right.
I do remember not getting up, going to work many a days when I should have been at work. And I don't know how I kept my job through that. Yeah. Just thankfully, my children, they were young. I had taught them how to cook at a young age. Right. They were cooking breakfast and dinner for themselves and, doing everything for themselves. And they were, I would say, maybe 9, 10 years old. Yeah. And then my youngest was 4. So I'm just grateful that, they knew how to take care of themselves. And then one day, and this probably, I think I was in a depression. I don't know how long. It felt like years.
Yeah.
But one day I just said to myself, you need to get up out this bed, pick
Yeah.
yourself up and take care of those children.
Yeah. I mean, some people don't make it out that bed, Gina.
I know.
Yeah, some people don't. And the thing is, like, you were 15. You went only relationship. You went right into a marriage outside of that. And you're talking about 15 years later, you 30, or near 30.
Yes.
That's all you knew.
That's all I knew.
That's all you knew. Of course it's gonna be traumatic. When things start falling apart, if that's all you know, anytime our first anything. You know what I mean? You live in your first home and y'all move out. It's a sad experience. Your first love, you break up. It's a sad experience. Your first anything, your first pet, they happen to pass away. It's a sad experience. You know what I mean? So if you're talking about a marriage, you're talking about somebody, you were a child and you went into your adulthood. I'm imagining that he had to, was he a little bit older or was he your age?
No, he was just maybe a year older.
So
around the same age. He wasn't too much older than I was.
Right. The dynamic with men, it's a different dynamic with men. You probably leaned on him and he probably had to lean just a little bit. I'm not saying you weren't there, but as a man, you got to lean on yourself because he knows that I have these kids and I have this woman relying on me. So it probably wasn't as hard for him, you know what I mean? But you were attached. He probably taught you a lot of things. I'm sure you taught him some things.
Absolutely.
But and you also mentioned that you were somewhat attached to his family also too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
His mother was just the best mother-in-law. She taught me how to love. She taught me how to love, how to be a great wife in a relationship. She taught me how to be a great mother because, again, like I said, I was young. I had my daughter at the age of 20.
Right.
You don't know anything at that age.
No.
But, she was such a loving and caring person that I really, picked up a lot of traits from her because in my mind, I was like, man, I want to be like her. I want to care about people like she does. Right. Her philosophy was always right is right and wrong is wrong. It didn't matter who you were.
Yeah.
You're wrong, you are wrong. It could be her child. It could be her sister. You're wrong if you're wrong. And if you're right, you were right in her eyes.
Yeah.
She just was a fair person. And I picked up a lot of her traits and I really looked up to her because, as a young mother, I felt like, now the attention is moving away from me and now it's moving toward my child. And there was a little bit of envy there, but she taught me how to, take that and turn it into love and transfer it over to my children. And so I really appreciated her for, what she helped me, the woman that she helped me to become.
Right. And at the time did you have 3 children?
At the time I had 2, and then my third son came 8 years later.
Okay.
But he was 4 when their dad and I split up.
Okay.
So he was the youngest.
I think we got a picture of your 3 kids.
Do you?
Yeah.
Let's see. You got a picture of me, Ron.
That's your. Whoa, wait. I was wrong. That's you, Gina?
Let me see if you can pick out which one I am.
I'm thinking the baby.
No,
you at the right. I guess my right, your left.
What color?
Yellow, in the yellow shirt.
No, I'm the one in the blue dress.
Shut up, Gina. Oh, that is you. Oh, that's
my
you.
sister in the yellow dress and my baby brother. He passed away in 2007.
Really? Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, gosh. I'm sorry to hear that. The reason is it's funny after you said that, I got that look before on the show. Oh, Dope Living show from you. I was like, I do recognize that look.
Yeah, that was me.
That's cool. So when you were talking about when you came out of that depression,
yes.
what happened? Like do you think something spurred you, or was it something?
My children spurred me.
Yeah.
I just I don't know what was different on this particular day because I saw my children, but this particular day I saw my children in my head, I said, I can't keep going like this because my children will think this is the way. This
It's
is
normal.
normal.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
think that if they're going through this situation, it's okay because they saw me go through it.
Yeah.
So at that point, I got up out that bed
Yeah.
and I started making changes.
Yeah.
I walked away from the marriage.
Really?
17 years. I walked away from the marriage.
Wow.
Now
It's funny that you said that about your kids though, because I got married when I was 20, and I've told my kids before, but I don't know, they kids, I don't know when the last time I told them. Shout out to my daughter Haley. It's her birthday today.
Happy
And
birthday.
yeah, I had to step away from my baby. She turns 19 today. She turns 19 today. So that's not my baby. My youngest baby is Kyla, but they end up going out. But my kids saved my life. You know what I mean? Because the thing is what you were saying is that, yeah, kids are exactly, Mo. Kids are a motivator. Like, would I be who I am without my kids? No, absolutely not. You wouldn't be who you are without your kids, because I could have self-destructed at an early age, but I couldn't do it because I looked at my babies and I realized I had to get myself together. Even now, the V&O is something that I want this to be. You're supposed to pass things off to your kids. I want this to be for my kids. That's right, Greg. You always talk about how your son, he changed your life, man. He caused you to propelled you, put you in motion, man. My kids put me in motion. I love my babies, my family, man. They put me in motion. I tell my family all the time, y'all helped me back in the day. Fathers are necessary. Let me help you. So when I give you advice, hear me out, because you helped me. Now let me help you. But yeah, kids are great. They pulled you up out that bed looking at them like you said, this ain't normal. I don't want them to look at this as normal and they go through something like this. Yeah. I'm sorry I had to interrupt you for that V&O message.
That's okay. It hit me one day, and I said, I can't do this, and have them see me going through this and think that, hey, this is the way life is.
Yeah.
So, that just changed my whole life.
Yeah.
Like you said, 17 years I was a kid. We were kids. We were both kids.
Yeah.
When we met. And so now 17 years later and 3 kids, I'm all by myself.
Yeah.
Going from two household income to a 1 household income. I picked up 3 jobs.
Wow.
I picked up 3 jobs to make sure my kids did not want for anything, and they had what they needed.
Right.
And even what they wanted,
Right.
So I look back at that and I said, how the heck did I work 3 jobs? I worked at the post office on the midnight shift, on the graveyard shift. I did telemarketing during the evening, and I was babysitting during the day.
Yeah.
Ask me when I slept. I don't know.
Right. When did you sleep, eat, cook, take any time?
I don't know.
To do anything. I always give women their props, man. Even my wife, man. Women are amazing at their multitasking. Men can move mountains one at a time. We can move them one at a time. We're gonna put that work in. We're gonna move the mountain. But it's amazing sometimes the ability that I believe God has given women to just be here and be there and do this and do that. That's why women, you can have screaming babies in the background and y'all just keep it moving like nothing. Like I mean, when my kids were little, I'd be like, "Did you hear this? Do you hear?"
We learn how to tune all that out. All of that nonsense, we tune it out so we can keep pushing.
Yeah, y'all just keep it pushing, man. It's crazy, how it's the makeup of women. Women are amazing. It's 3 jobs.
Yes.
3 jobs.
Yes. And you know what? I was on my telemarketing job for 8 years. I was at the post office for 2 years, and here it is. I'm, adding babysitting during the day to make extra money, and I did that for 2 years. I worked all 3 jobs.
Yeah.
But throughout that, though, Ron, I every day I prayed to God to help me to be at home with my children, because it took me away from my children. Whereas, my daughter was in the honor society. She was an honor student and she was making D's and F's.
Wow.
My son was running with the wrong crowd. And then my baby was going from daycare to babysitter.
Right.
So it was other people raising my baby.
Right. That's my man, Demetrius. He agreed. Like, man, we will complain about having one job. Talk about, I got to get up early in the morning. You had 3. I agree with you. But
right.
That's my man.
And I would pray to God, that I could, he would open doors where I could be at home with my children. So I could get them back on track. And he answered my prayers.
Wow.
I was able to open up my home-based daycare, and I left my telemarketing job of 8 years. And I left the post office of 2 years, which people were like, you're crazy. That's a job you retire on. Da, da, da.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I left that. I wanted to be home with my kids, and it made a world of difference.
Love will compel you to do what seems crazy at times. You know what I mean? But what good is having a great job, benefits and all of that if you lose your kids because they don't have that don't make nothing. You know what I mean? It shouldn't make you feel good. But how did you was working at the post office, you still had 2 other jobs?
I was working at the post office. I had been on my telemarketing job for 8 years. Yeah. So I didn't want to let that go.
Right.
And I was, like I said, babysitting and, during the day, to make extra money.
What? Just it's great.
Hey, great. Hey.
What's up?
At least let us see your face.
Right. Welcome to the V&O. That's my man.
Oh, he couldn't believe I had 3 jobs. I guess he couldn't believe that one.
He had to come on and object. That's great.
You know what? I got to say this, Ron, though. You think about, when you feel that you do what you have to do to survive. Yeah. Do what you have to do.
Yeah. Not everybody.
And again, when I look back, I'm like, how in the world did I work 3 jobs? When did I eat? When did I sleep? Yeah. When did I have a life?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you didn't even have time to think. And I mean, the reason I asked about the 3 jobs, because you just skipped over. You said, and then I started my own business. I was like, hold on 1 minute. Like, when did you have time to start a business? Yo, I'm lacking, man. I'm out here. Some of us lacking that life. Y'all, if you're not motivated by this, I don't know what's going to motivate you. Look at your own life. And if you ain't doing Gina Gadson, you ain't doing it. She had 3 jobs and she created her own business. And you've been talking about creating that business for 10 years and you ain't even got 1 job. Go out there and start that business. Go out there, take care of your kids, do what you got to do, because it's people with 3 jobs that started a business. That's crazy. That's wild. Wow, a business, not just a business that you can actually support yourself with.
That's right.
Wow, that's so you started this babysitting job or not a job, you started babysitting business.
I started
childcare.
I started childcare, and it was difficult too. Don't think it was easy. The state of Indiana for a whole year, they had me jumping through hoops, but it was so passionate it was such a passion of mine that what they told me to do, I did it. And then I did this. Well, you got to do this and this for a whole year.
Right. Wow.
A whole year.
It was on your back, huh?
That I couldn't get that license.
Wow.
They kept, it was just so much red tape. Wow. But you know what? I kept at it. I went through the classes that they had me to take. I even changed things in my home that they required. I went and had a huge driveway. My driveway widened to fit 4 cars because, they said you couldn't have the kids dropped off in the street. And so I widened my driveway.
Wow. What?
Things. Yeah. And so I finally, got my daycare license. Yeah. And at this point, let me not skip over. I skipped over a whole lot because, after my first husband and I split up, we, I just in my head, I had been with the same man for 17 years. I was like, I don't want to be married ever again to no one.
Right. Yeah.
But what, when God have that in his plan for you, don't ever say never.
Right.
I met my second husband, and he was just just the most wonderful man.
Mm.
He passed away in 2013 of stage 4 cancer.
Wow. I'm sorry.
And it's fine.
Yeah.
But he motivated me throughout everything I was doing, even with the daycare.
Yeah.
When I got to a point where I just broke down and cried, when I
Mhm.
did so much to get my daycare open,
Mm-hmm.
and the straw that broke my camel's back, I sat down and I just broke down and cried.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm never going to get this daycare open.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
said to me, try it one more time. He
Wow.
just said that, try one more time.
Right.
And I tried one more time and I got my license.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. For you to go from something that fell apart to somebody to be so supportive of you. Y'all don't give up on love. don't, I think Jodeci wrote a song about that, but y'all don't get, you never know, man. I made a post about that, about man, this love is one of those things. It's gonna hurt. You know what I mean? Whether it's in I always go off on these tangents, but I got to because that's a touching story. And it's like for real, man. Like love is one of those things that has this dynamic. Either you're gonna be on the top or you're gonna be on the bottom. Like it's because you can love somebody all their life and then they pass away, and you're going to hurt. You know what I mean? When
that's a hurt. That's a
pain. It's gotta hurt. That's gotta hurt. Or you 15 and you fall in love and it turns out to be a disaster. You went from the top to the bottom. And then you went to the top again, and then you lost your husband.
Yes.
And go into that one. You told me. I'm sorry. Were you ready to go there? I think you were.
I'm ready. Yes.
Yeah.
Go there.
You were talking about. You were telling me about with your husband after you lost him. So you first marriage ended in divorce. You were a little traumatized, depressed, and then your second marriage. Wow, it was a total flip. It was great. And then he passes away, and what happened?
Yes, man. I don't know if I was in a depression at that point. I'm not good with this depression thing, I guess.
Yeah.
But I did alienate myself. As I did in my first marriage, I alienated myself from my family and my friends because I was going through so much. I didn't want my family and friends to see what I was going through.
Right.
And two, I felt like I'm not going to ask them for help because this is my problem.
Right.
So, my family wasn't around. My friends weren't around going through what I went through in my first marriage. But then in my second marriage, it wasn't so much that I wanted to push people away. I wanted to be alone.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to be by myself.
Yeah, grief. It wasn't depression, grief. Yeah.
And so I didn't date for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't date for 2 years after he passed. And I didn't really go out much. My friends would try to get me to go out and I didn't want to go. I come home, my kids were grown and out the house. So I'm coming home to an empty house. It was difficult for me to sit at the dining room table that he and I used to sit at in the morning and drink coffee.
Yeah.
Difficult for me to go to the restaurants that we used to frequent on our anniversary or birthdays. And, there were certain special restaurants that we would visit all the time. I couldn't go to those restaurants.
Yeah.
It's just those little things that was, it sounds weird.
Yeah.
But it was very difficult to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it took me a while to come through that mourning phase, You never get over it. You just learn how to deal with it. People say that, time heals all wounds. I don't think so. I think it just teaches us how to deal with it.
Yeah, you deal with it. That's not going to be healed. I mean, you found something that you had lost in the first marriage, and then it was just kind of taken away from you.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Of course,
I say he was a great husband, a great man. I mean, I couldn't want for anything. I'm just going to say I loved him dearly. He was my best friend.
Yeah.
He loved me dearly. And anyone that knew the two of us knew there was just nothing but love there. Wow. And then that was gone. My best friend was gone.
Yeah.
And it was very devastating. It was another traumatic piece in my life. But this is the difference in the two. When I left, when my first marriage fell apart, I was very destructive with myself. I started drinking. I started smoking.
Yeah.
I went down a dark road.
Yeah.
Something in my head said, okay, now you're at another crossroad. When my second husband passed, you're at another crossroad. Which direction are you going to go in? And I didn't go down that same road.
Yeah.
I got into church, into the Bible.
Yeah.
And I went in that direction.
Yeah.
And it was more positive than when I was going through these.
Right. You were boozing it up and cussing folks out.
Man, they knew me in the club by name.
Right. Ratchet. Gina was out there.
By name.
But we talk about ratchetness, man, but you never know what somebody's dealing with. We love to talk about our women and say, oh, you ratchet or this, or our guys and say, but you never know, like that's might be somebody's coping mechanism. It looked ratchet to you, but she might be on the club, he might be on the club because we don't know how to deal with this. You know what I mean? Let's talk about it. Let's and that's so true. I'm glad you brought that up because you never know what people are going through. Yeah. You never know why they're doing certain things. That wasn't even my characteristic. My sister was like, what are you doing? Yeah, you ain't ratchet, Gina. I wish I could see ratchet, Gina. But I'm gonna tell you, Brian, I went out every weekend, me and my girlfriend, every weekend for a whole year, nonstop, every single weekend. Are you serious? I'm so serious. Really? It could be 10 below zero, and it would just be the two of us in the club, me and her. Gina was out in the streets. They didn't even have to pay to get in. They knew us. Are you serious? Gina, you was out in the streets, Gina? I was in the streets tough. This is a different Gina here. Yeah, right. So you know what? And this is why we do this. Like, man, somebody that's out in them streets right now is listening to this, and they might not see an end to it. You know what I mean? They might think that I'm just this. You ain't ratchet. You know what I mean? If you out there and you out in them streets now, and you look like you having fun, but you go home and it ain't fun no more. Yeah. We all know how you gotta face that same issue you're running away from. Yeah, you running away from them, and you lonely, and you don't see an end to it. Somebody made it through that, man. Somebody made it through that. Miss Gina Gadson, Miss Author Gina Gadson, she made it through that. Y'all listen to this. Somebody share this. Somebody like this, because this is amazing. Where were we at? I'm sorry, I got lost in the. Well, I kind of took it back, but I know where we are. Now we're gonna fast forward to being with my second husband, and now I had that idea of writing a book. That was back from when I started my daycare. Okay. I had two children in my daycare, one in the 5th grade, one in the 3rd grade, and neither could read. Oh, okay. And they were both in special ed, but I saw that they were just getting pushed through the system. No one was taking time to teach them how to read. Yeah. No one was taking time to help them learn. Yeah. They were just, they weren't learning anything, but they were steady going to the next grade. Right. And in my heart, I couldn't see that. What's going to happen to them? They're going to become adults, and they're going to not be able to get a job. They're going to be on drugs or whatever because they can't get a job, or they can't get through society without reading. Right. So I took it upon myself to teach them how to read. Wow. And with that, I just felt this passion that I wanted to reach children at a larger capacity. And so I got this idea, if I write books, learning books, then I can reach a lot of children. Wow. One of the things that I found when I was teaching these children in my daycare was that. So they were after schoolers. So they would go to school, and they were after schoolers in your. Some of them I had them from 6 weeks up to 15 years old. Wow. Okay. I had a little. A few of them that came right after birth, 6 weeks old. Parents didn't go back to work. Yep. And they came to me. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So it was a variety of ages in my daycare. Yeah. But in order to reach these children, I figure if I write books, I could teach them. And one of the things I found out, they were learning when they were having fun. Now, if you sat them down and said, "What's this letter? A."
what's his letter, and memorize. They didn't learn as well.
Yeah.
But we had games and songs and we were having fun. It just stuck with them.
Right.
And so I said, hey, I got this idea. I want to write some books. But the first idea was not the book that I actually wrote.
Yeah.
I was going to have this little girl with a cape on, flying across the world, saving our vocabulary.
Wow.
That was my first thought of writing books.
Right.
Now, I never acted on it, though.
Yeah. Okay.
I had my daycare for 8 years. I never acted on it.
Yeah.
I had the thought, and I shared it with my husband at the time, my second husband.
Yeah.
And I never started writing until, I don't know, maybe 6 years later.
Okay.
And he encouraged me, why don't you go ahead and write it? You know,
Right.
and I told him the idea, and he encouraged me to go ahead and write. And every day, or at least by the end of the week, he would always say, did you write anything?
Yeah.
Or, have you, started the book yet?
Yeah.
So I would at least write a line or two at the end of the night before I went to bed, because he's going to ask me, did I write anything? So let me write something so I can say yes.
Right.
And that's what started Alpha's Adventure. But the thing that changed it from, her name was going to be Madeline, from Madeline Saving the Vocabulary.
Yeah.
I came home from work one day and he said, hey, keep your coat on. And I said, where are we going? He said, we're going to go see a man about a dog. And I thought it was that old cliche.
Right.
Well, we went to see a man about a dog and brought Alpha home.
Really?
Yes. Well, we had decided.
You really was going to see a man about a dog?
We really did go see a dog.
That's
a dog.
Wow.
Yes. And that's where Alpha came in at, because he wanted a name, and he kept thinking of a name. When he was young, his best friend was a dog, and his dog name was Omega.
Okay.
And so I said, well, let's call him Alpha.
Yeah.
Alpha and Omega.
Oh, that's cool.
And that's where we got the name Alpha from.
That's cool. So then you had the kids were at the daycare. Were the kids able to interact with the dog, or how?
This was after the daycare was.
This was after the daycare. Okay, so
I didn't start writing the books until after I.
Okay, you did. Yeah, you did say that. So
right.
You started writing. Did you ever? You said you wrote a couple like things or books. Were they books that you wrote when you were when you were doing the daycare, or were they just writings that you?
I never wrote during the daycare.
Okay.
It was just an idea. I never moved on that idea, even through the 8 years. So I guess it was 8 years. Even through the 8 years that I had my daycare, I never started writing. I didn't start writing until after I closed my daycare.
Okay.
And that's when I started writing Alpha's Adventure. And because, the dog's name was Alpha, I changed the whole scheme of my idea to Alpha's Adventure, Alphabet.
Right. Okay. Oh,
Alpha's Adventure.
Right.
And then now we have this pit bull that's saving the letter out of the word that the fox steals out of the word. And Alpha chases Foxy the letter bandit and puts the letter back in the word. And this teaches children that taking a letter out of a word changes the meaning.
Wow. That's so it's crazy how life works. Like,
yes,
you started writing in 7th grade, and then you working 3 jobs, and then you started daycare because you realized working 3 jobs wasn't going to do it. You need to spend time with your kids. Your kids was lacking. They were smart kids, but they weren't doing good in school. So then you start this daycare, and then you realize while you have this daycare, now this writer is still in you, but you realize while you have this daycare that I could write some books and help these kids, but I didn't write while you had the daycare. But you told me, I think, that your kids had pretty much got out of school, and that's when you shut the daycare down. And boom, that's when you got time to write. And then you start living this dream that you've always had within you, inside of you. That's amazing. That's amazing.
And that's when look, I came out there not knowing anything at all about writing a book. It was just an idea. So what I did was my concept was to write the first 5 books before I do anything with it, because I didn't want to have deadlines that I couldn't meet. And so I decided I'm going to write the first 5 books in my series before I reach out to an illustrator publisher. I didn't even know who to reach out to.
Right.
And I decided that's what I was going to do first. And I started on the first 2 books.
Okay.
They were
tell because we might have some aspiring writers
Mm-hmm.
or authors in here. If you can write, that don't mean that you're necessarily good at finding the resources to be able to put it out there. So what are the steps that somebody will want to take if they are just great writers, but they don't know where to begin at to get it published?
Well, first of all, get the idea out your head and on the paper. Most people think when you talk about writing a book, you need to write the book the way that it's going to be produced, but that's not correct. Just write down your thoughts. Write down your thoughts. And as you write down your thoughts, you know, when you go back and you have all the thoughts on paper, when you go back, you can organize it. Just get it on paper. You know, there were times when I was on the train and something came to me and I typed it up in my phone.
Right.
And sent it to myself so that I could, you know, just have pieces. You're going to have pieces of your story here and there.
Right.
But when you get it all together, then you reach out to, you know, a publisher. Most people self-publish nowadays. I actually reached out to a publisher, an independent publisher who published Alpha's Adventure for me. But, you know, these days it's so easy to self-publish. You know, most people are going that route. But because I didn't have any clue what to do, I needed that publisher.
Right.
She guided me. Rhonda Knight, she guided me. And she was more of a publisher and less of a publisher, a mentor.
Okay. Will something like that break you? Like, say you have somebody that might be struggling, they got kids, and like we said, trauma kind of brings about the ability to create. So they might not have a lot of money. What would spur them, or what type of money would they need to get this started? Like, would it be a lot of money? Do you need to have a publisher, you know, in order to get it jump started?
No, you don't need a publisher. Like I said, nowadays you can self-publish.
Okay, so
if you're going to use a publisher, depending on where you're going, my independent publisher cost me a few $1,000 for each book.
Okay,
but you get those big box publishers, they're going to charge a whole lot more than that.
Right.
But I don't see the point of it, because even if you get those big box publishers, you're going to be the one marketing and pushing your own book.
Right. Yeah.
If you think they're going to push it for you, you're wrong. They don't do that.
You go in the box with everybody else.
Right. So you're your own best marketer when it comes to your books.
Right.
So that's why a lot of people self-publish now, because you don't get anything with it. You know, you're not getting anyone that's going to put your books out there for you. They may put them on platforms, but you still have to promote them.
Right. Okay. So somebody has it, they self-publish, and then where would you say is the best place for them to put themselves out there? Facebook? Are there websites? Or
there's website, Facebook, Amazon does, but Amazon takes a huge chunk of your money.
Okay.
There's a lot of different independent publishing companies. There's a lot, even the authors that I deal with in Distinguished Authors Guild, there's a lot of them that self-publish, and you'll see a lot of authors that self-publish start their own publishing company.
Okay.
Many of them do.
Okay. Really?
They help other authors.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
So they're very easy to find.
Okay.
Very easy.
Okay.
And at one point, it used to be a negative thing for you to self-publish, because a lot of the bookstores wouldn't take self-published books at one point.
Really?
But now that's gone. That's in the old days. That's gone. Now they take self-published books. You can find, you can get them in Walmart. You can get them in Barnes and Noble. At one point, they wouldn't even take your book unless you were with the big box companies.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So now that I just wanted to get that out there, I what I was doing was I was trying to get a banner, because somebody did say they wanted to know about Alpha's Adventures, and if we can run the banner to show. I think I put the website, post the website on the banner. There we go. Yeah.
Nope, that's wrong.
That's wrong. What's the correct
That's
one?
incorrect. It's Alpha's Adventure Books.
Alpha's Adventures Books.
Alpha's Adventure, not an S on adventure. Alpha's Adventure Books.com.
Okay, Alpha's with a S, ALPHAS, Adventures, ADVENTURE, adventure.com.
Books, BOOKS.
Books with a S.com.
Yes.
So if you guys if you got kids, man, check them out. Like this is something that came out of what was the name of your daycare?
Total Loving Care.
Total Loving Care. This is something that came out of Total Loving Care. This idea, the idea. So this is going to help your kids. If your kids are, you having a hard time getting them to sit down and read, or
there's so much fun. There's 5 books in the series.
Okay.
And each book has its own setting. You don't have to have one book to know what's going on in the next book. They have their own independent setting, their own independent story, and they have vibrant colors.
Yeah.
For, even young kids, 2-year-olds, I've seen parents send me pictures of their 2-year-olds flipping through, looking at the pages. And I did that on purpose.
Wow.
So that, if a child can't read, they can still, look at the pictures.
Yeah.
I found my illustrator on Facebook.
Really?
And she did a phenomenal job.
Really?
Yes.
It is resources out there, people. If you don't, I go to a website. I do a lot of like things on the side as far as like business go. I always got to learn something. And when I was starting this podcast, I didn't know if I'd be able to edit everything up, but I end up learning how to edit. But there are websites that you can go to that you can find publishers. There are people that are willing to do this for you. So y'all, if you out there and you feel that you have that author within you, if you are a writer, Gina just gave y'all the game. She gave the game away. Go out there. Don't be discouraged because you can't find somebody to illustrate, or you can't find somebody. Maybe you don't know how to put the words down. It's always somebody to help y'all live y'all dream. You're talking to somebody right now. She is very much so giving out these nuggets. Y'all do what's inside of you. If you have writer inside of you, do that. Don't let nothing stop you. You talking
but
to
not
a lady.
just that, Ron. Yeah. But your book and your story may help someone else.
Yes.
It's not just for you all the time.
Yes. Exactly. Mm-hmm. So okay, now we out. Look, I'm always doing this, boy. I tell you, 1 hour goes so fast on the V&O. Gina is very much so awesome. Thank you, Natalie. Gina is awesome.
Thank you, Nat.
Let's talk about now. We moved to that. Now you went from author to where. Let's go into DAG a little bit.
Yes.
This is what really got me. I was like, what?
Distinguished Authors Guild.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
This is a platform that honors African American authors.
Okay.
And I have to give credit to the person who came up with this idea, because this was not my idea, but I thought it was a great idea. And that was Deborah Rhodes Pettigrew. We came together, Deborah and myself and another individual. And she said, I had this idea and it's been under my hat for years. I think she said maybe 7 or 8 years. And I just, wanted to do something different than what all the other authors are doing, book fairs and, book sales. I just wanted to do something different. And I thought about this author award show.
Okay.
And my ears went ding, 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 ding. Wow, that's great.
Right.
And so we got together and we started planning. The first individual dropped out after the first meeting.
Yeah.
And so Deborah.
Are we able to say his name, or would you mind?
I can say his name because I'm not going to say his last name. But Dad originally was supposed to be Deborah, Andre, and Gina.
Shout out to Andre. I've met Andre, and he actually bought. He writes children's books also, and I just wanted to give him a shout out. And
I have 2 children books.
What'd you say?
He has some books for children that are financial books, and I took a few of them. Oh my gosh! You're a producer.
But I just wanted to shout out Andre because I really
That's my
we were talking
baby
about,
right there.
yeah,
That's my baby.
that's your new love. So
Yes.
that's your new love. That was
Yes,
part
it
of your
is.
story. But
That's
I
my
just
baby.
wanted to shout out Andre because I see him all the time, and
Yes.
he's gonna be on the V&O at some point in time. But I
Yes.
haven't forgot about you, bro.
He's a great author.
Yeah.
But and I don't. The thing is that at that point we all were doing things, and some things pulled him away.
Yeah.
And then things pulled Deb away.
Yeah.
But when we decided that Andre wasn't going to be a part of it, I was like, well, we still can do this. Let's just call it Distinguished Authors Guild, because we had already started printing everything DAG.
Right.
So I came up with the name Distinguished Authors Guild.
Okay.
Then Deb does a lot. She's a radio host.
Mm-hmm.
She has an author's brunch. It's in its 10th year.
Okay.
And so that pulled her away too. So I found myself doing it all alone.
Me and you talked about this yesterday, and I said, y'all, if y'all checking out the V&O was not my idea. If you watched my episode 1 of the V&O, I kind of told a story, and I started this with I want to say 5 extremely dope people, and if y'all watch it, man, I'm indebted to y'all. But I had they had lives. They went in separate areas, and a lot of times all you need is the idea. And somebody came up with the idea of the light bulb. You know what I mean? These LEDs is lighting me up right now. They had no idea about these LEDs. Should the person that created these LEDs be like, oh my God, I also, Thomas Edison, I feel bad because he's the one who came up with this idea. Gina is awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
My man Nick, he's always supporting. I gotta stop my story and give a shout out to Nick. Thank you, man. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. My man Demetrius, I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you.
But when we talked yesterday, these LEDs is lighting up light me up right now. The person that created these LEDs can't say, man, I feel bad because Tesla or Thomas Edison didn't, they're not getting the credit they deserve for these LEDs. No, but you took the idea and you ran with it. You know what I mean? Maybe it wasn't meant for them. It wasn't meant for them. Last week I talked to a guy before I went on with what's up? What up, Chris?
Hey,
what
Chris.
Up, Chris? What is it? BGHE, man. Look, on Dope Living TV Network, y'all check out BGHE. Chris is out there. I just watched your last episode, bro. I was at a wedding yesterday. You doing it
awesome?
Yeah, dope, man.
Yes.
Dope. Y'all have some good talent on there. If you like rap music, man, y'all check out my man Chris. Go to his Facebook page and follow him. And he has a dope podcast. Yes. Back to what I was saying. I do this all the time. This is the V&O. But when you might not be the one to come up with the idea, but it's not meant to be like that. You know what I mean? Sometimes that person that came up with the idea, they weren't meant to run with it. The person that runs with it, they weren't meant to come up with that idea. I think that's how God got away of keeping all us humble at times. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure that as much as we hear Elon Musk's name, he did not come up with electric cars. The person that actually came up with it, we might not even know them. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's not always meant for us to come up with the idea. You know what I mean? But you ran with it. I ran with the V&O. You know what I mean? I give props to my peoples. That when we set out and they gave their time and energy and money too to help get this started. But this was in my heart, y'all. That was in your heart.
Yes.
Distinguished Authors Guild was in your heart.
I
props to her. Props to Miss Deborah. But this is in your heart. You ran with it. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt your story.
Well, I know we're running short on time, but I just want to say that, authors, if you feel you have an award-winning book, register your book.
Yeah.
Registration goes through July 31st, but we honor these authors and we make this a special day for them. They end up, all the winners end up with an award with their name on it.
Yeah.
And we promote them on Dope Living TV Live. Like, everyone may not know, but I've been on that podcast for close to 2 years now. And we're family there. That's where we come up with ideas and we help each other and we promote and we help others, entrepreneurs as well. And, we just want to give you your props because it's difficult out there, writers, independent writers. I know how many times the door was shut in my face.
Yeah.
Or, that we don't want to take those type of books here.
Yeah.
Those certain types of books written by African Americans can't get into certain platforms.
Yeah.
And so we came up with this idea so that we can help authors elevate their platform. There's been several authors that we got connected with others.
Wow.
We have some that are now writing magazines that, I connected with other individuals. We have one author who, because he had an award-winning book back in 2020, he had the school system reach out to him and purchase books for young adult men.
Wow.
In his city, and also his fraternity that purchased 500 books.
Really? So, wow. So you're talking about business opportunities coming.
Business opportunities. Yeah. It's not just, we do the hooray and everything, but we don't stop there. Any avenue that we can point them in, we do that. We're talking to a few authors, Michelle Kane, Danny Smith. We're talking to a few authors that may end up on Dope Living TV Network.
Wow. Okay.
It's just another way to elevate yourself. And it doesn't even have to be books, because I have authors that we promote their products. We got Karen Dade, who won in 2020. And I have several family members and friends that buy her sea moths.
Wow.
So it's just, an opportunity for you to get out there and elevate whatever you're doing.
Yeah, it's some money to come with that hooray. Y'all, if y'all step out on faith. The Bridge Effect, he supports me. I like to support him. My man is a dope artist. Man. Hey, man. I don't know if you've gotten any books. I'm talking to the Bridge Effect. Y'all check him out. Check out his Facebook page. He's in the comments. But he's an illustrator. And I believe he might have, I believe he might, that's him right there. I believe he might have written some things too. But my man is a great artist. Hey, man, you might want to check this out, the Distinguished Author Guild. Can we run that promo for the Distinguished Author Guild for this year?
Distinguished Authors Guild is in search of excellence, and it could be you. Submit your published book to our review committee and enter to win our DAG Book Award. Literary Awards ceremony and VIP gala will be held in Las Vegas, November 9th, 2022 from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., honoring the past and celebrating the future. Entry deadline is July 31st, 2022. Remember, this is a black tie event, so be prepared to dress to impress and win your DAG award. Submit your book today at bit.ly/DAG author. We look forward to reading your book for review and seeing you there this November. Submit your book today at bit.ly/DAGAUTHOR.
I love that commercial.
Yeah.
And that commercial is running in Vegas on a radio station as well.
Really?
But I just want to add that along with the honoring the authors, we also give scholarships to first year college students. So a percentage of the proceeds goes towards the scholarship. So I just wanted to add that.
Wow.
Because that's very near and dear to my heart.
Wow, that's what's up, man. Supporting the community. That's y'all check this out, man. If you are listening right now and you know an author, y'all tell them to submit their work. If you know, do you take just authors or is it illustrators also? Is it just? This is
authors. They have to have a published book, and it can be an ebook too. Last year was the first year we had ebooks submitted.
Okay.
But they have to be published and they have to be 350 pages or less.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah,
and
y'all look, man,
if you want to go visit DAG, Distinguished Authors Guild Facebook page, you can find the registration form on there as well. And that gives you all the details about the event. Okay.
And I man, we going through time, but I do want to, can I run last year's winners and then we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. But I want to show like some people that have won.
excited every time I see that.
That's dope, Gina. Yeah, that's dope. Amazing.
Oh
That's
my
right, man. Get
God.
on it. Get on it. I'll put the plug in for you. Get on it. Miss Natalie, thank you. That's amazing, Gina. That's amazing. You did that. That's amazing. You are doing that. That's amazing. Y'all, please.
I owe it all to God, man. I couldn't do this without him.
That's it right there.
Man, this year we're gonna be the first year live in Vegas.
Nice.
How
in
big
Vegas?
Is that? In Vegas.
Woo.
Yeah.
In Vegas. So this ain't gonna be in Westside's auditorium, but
No, this is a black tie event. Black tie event, and it's going to be awesome.
Awesome. That's my baby. Thank you, Candy. That is very, very, very. I mean, that's amazing. That's amazing, and it's just gonna keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Look, y'all better get on. You better get on. You don't know who might be next year's winner that might put you on. Submit your work, man. Don't lay back. Don't say, oh, I can't do it, or oh, they don't want to. Man, I feel so just small. I need to read a book. Like some of them books look dope. Like, I'm sitting there looking at it. I'm like,
those are award-winning books, and believe me, I've read quite a few of them. I have readers. We have readers who read the books. I don't read the books, but I do have a lot of the books. I always try to purchase the author's books. Even though I don't read and give the feedback, the readers choose the winners. But I have to have those books in my library because they are awesome. And I love to read. A lot of times I'm traveling on the plane, I'm reading 2 or 3 books.
Really?
You can't put them down. I'm so serious. Just pick up one and read it, and you will see why they are award-winning. I'm not playing.
Yeah, I gotta check them out, man. This has been another great one with the V&O and Ms. Gina Gadson. Y'all, applause, man. This is I learned so much. I'm talking about changing somebody else's life. I've learned so much. Y'all check out my man's Chris Lane.
Yeah.
On BGHE. Check out his podcast, Dope Living TV Network, that you are on every day on Greg Gray. I will share those on mine. I've shared Chris. I didn't share his last one. I was at a wedding yesterday, but y'all, I'm gonna share it. Y'all check him out, man. If you like talent, man.
But don't forget, tune into Dope Living TV Live Monday through Thursday.
Yes.
7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Man, we have so much fun on that show. Why do you think I've been on there for 2 years? We talk about every subject under the sun, and we are natural. We are ourselves.
Yes.
We get into some bickering on the show.
Yes.
We get into some laughs on the show. You never know what we're gonna bring you, but you gotta watch it. It's such an amazing show. And the support that's there, I just can't talk about it enough.
Yeah, y'all support. I mean, we not just saying support, like you gonna get something out of it. I've been I'd be so busy. I'm trying to make the V&O, just trying to make it pop every week. I want it to be better. It gets better, and I've put a lot of time and effort into this. But man, whenever I can make it on Dope Living TV, I love y'all so much. I always enjoy my time, like being on there with y'all. From everybody is quirky and have their own. I forgot about Marcy. Yeah, Marcy. Matter of fact, y'all gonna see her on here soon. More from Dope Living TV.
Okay.
We already got the guys, but we have to get the ladies of Dope Living. But she's going to be on here soon. Thank you so much, Marcy, for supporting. Yeah, it's such, man. It's so relaxed, and it's exactly what it is. It's Dope Living. It's Dope Living.
Yes,
Greg Gray, my man, Greg Gray. Thank you as always, y'all. This has been another sit down on the V&O, man. I hope y'all got something out of this, man. If y'all listening, thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe this, man. Of course, as always, follow me on TikTok, Instagram. The link's in the bio on the YouTube. Go and subscribe to that. Links in the bio on Facebook.
There you go.
Y'all, please. Y'all please go and because you will get something out of this, man. Thank you so much for y'all that have. Thank you so much for y'all that will. Yo, we out.
But have you ever thought, what if this is all just a dream? And we're just waiting in line to wake up?